Hello, everyone. Good evening. Good evening. So we have some topics tonight. Some stuff I'd like to get into a little bit, but I don't know how long I'm gonna be on here. Um, the first and most important topic, and I think that it will probably be mostly what we discuss, is the fact that California right now is basically burning down. Um, this is something that happens each year, and it gets worse. Each year there are wildfires, and it gets worse. And I don't know if if you guys know anybody um, from California. I certainly do. I certainly know plenty of people from California. I have met them over the years. Um, 365 is out that way. And I don't know if it is affecting him or not. Um, he certainly didn't give me an indicator that it was. But there are a lot of people that are being affected. And it's really bad. And there's not enough help. Like, essentially, when stuff like this happens, it literally just boils down to not enough manpower. Um, so, I don't know necessarily what the solution is, but maybe we can sit here, um, do some searches possibly, and talk about, you know, what the response we think should be based on things that have happened before, cleanups that have happened before, and based on the fact that right now we have to consider the information too, that this wildfire that's going on in California is actually pretty aggressive, and they haven't, as far as I know, I actually haven't updated myself yet today, so we'll find out. But as of when I looked yesterday, they had extinguished basically 0% of this, and had been trying for quite some time. Um, Days, I think it was. So now I don't know how long we're going on now, but it's just spreading and spreading and spreading. And that's how these things in Cali work. Like that's when it's like really hot, really dry, it's just gonna spread, man. And so um let's just talk about it a little bit. Let me get a drink here. Just gonna talk about it a little bit. Hey you. That's my drink. No, that's my drink. Look, you have water right there. Yes, you do. Yes, okay. Okay. Go play. Keep playing on your tower. You almost made me laugh. mid-sentence earlier. She like basically ran face first into the wall. She almost made me laugh. So anyway, I'm pretty sure, considering the fact that it really wasn't extinguished at all, I'm pretty sure that it's still going on. And, you know, again, this is not okay. So, let me just take a look here really quick. It was in Eaton, right? Yeah. Yeah, it's still going. They still have the live feed here. Let me just...
Facts, images to show you, and we are awaiting that update. Less than 15 minutes away from LA County officials. We'll have the LA mayor taking a lot of questions, as you can imagine. We do want to give you updates, though. Red flag warnings from the National Weather Service for LA and Ventura counties have been extended through 6 p.m. tomorrow due to the extremely low humidity and strong winds. The LA Fire Department spokesperson said that erratic winds were a major concern, with gusts blowing embers.
Oh, wow.
Can tell you that, whipped up by fierce winds and fueled by bone-dry conditions, 3 major wildfires were burning around LA, killing at least 5 people and forcing residents, including many Hollywood celebrities, to evacuate by car or on foot. Water shortages have been a major issue here with this fire, and it has caused some hydrants to run dry in upscale Pacific Palisades.
So, alright, you guys heard it probably. I don't know if you heard that or not, but basically it looks like it's just getting worse. It's spreading to LA. Celebrities are getting involved, fleeing on foot. This is what's going on. Let me text. I want to see if he's okay. I mean, I'm sure he is. I actually don't think I heard from him. Yeah. I'm pretty sure he is, because I think he's out of the San Diego area. I think. If I'm not mistaken. But I could be wrong. Because that, like, where this is, that's not San Diego. But I mean, and it's got a good ways to go, but I mean, if it hits LA, that'd be insane. At least 5 perished, 1,000+ homes destroyed. Insane. That's crazy. I did text him. I hope he's okay. I'm sure he is, but like I said, I don't think that's actually anywhere near San Diego. Man, California's a pretty big state, guys. So, but I remember a few years back, it was it was a lot. There was a lot. This is just the winter. This is just the winter, guys. Yeah, imagine what's gonna happen in the summer. In the blistering heat. I know some folks don't kind of feel like sort of cringy when you talk about like environmental factors and stuff, but like at a certain point when like this is happening so rampantly, you have to really consider you know, just the effects of why it's happening, and you know, like essentially just doing something about that instead of trying to extinguish fires all the time and rebuild homes. Like that's expensive, man, and also people die from it. The smart route would just be to prevent it from happening in the first place and try to figure out what the environmental factors are. We pretty much know what that is, though. So, you know, like we should be taking steps forward to improving those environments, and instead of making them more harsh and kind of going backwards with environment, you know, like carbon emissions and all kinds of stuff. You know, just everything that is a fossil fuel, you know, like should be looked at as something that you don't really want to use unless you have to, unless, like rise above it. You know, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I understand, like you want to be American, you want to bring back American jobs, like what the country is built on. That's fine. I love that. But like, don't think about it in small terms of like fossil fuels, of like coal and stuff. You don't need that. You can rise above that and have something else in place of that, and still have like that American dream and what the country is built on. Entrepreneurship, ideas, engineering, new concepts. Embracing that. That's what the country was built on. This is what we did. Yeah, we did this for a long time, and then like all of a sudden we just sort of stopped being engineers. Like truthfully, who's developing all the technologies now? A lot of other countries. I mean, I'm just being honest with you. So like, you know, I want to do that. I want us to do that. You know, I want us to have now. Elon gets the credit there. He at least gets the credit there, man. He's got that space tech that nobody can touch. So at least there's Elon. But like, you know, how many people can do that? And the point is like, it's because he has the money. He can just do things with it. Now, yeah, he's really smart too, and he has a work ethic unlike almost anybody else, I think. But you know, aside from those things, he also has the resources. Anyway, not necessarily talking about that anymore. It's still like on the broadcast. It's just a bunch of people talking. But basically, that's the info, guys. You know, please, like, if you know, like, if you're a first responder and you know how to get in touch with them out there, and you want to help, or you know of anybody that can help, I think that's kind of the point, is like they always need people. Now, people that are proved to be there. Okay, don't just go. They're actually telling you that. Please don't just go. Don't do that. They are in a state of emergency, obviously. Please don't just go. But I'm talking about like getting in contact with them. and offering help and you know, like things like that, you know, volunteering and I feel like that. I mean, more manpower is more manpower, man. Like, I mean, resources, more resources, more resources. I mean, you know what I'm saying? More heads are more heads. Like, it's literally just the fact that like there's not enough. It just keeps growing, and they can't get to a point at which they can get ahead of it. So you got enough people with enough resources. Well, sure. Of course. Just organize it properly. Communicate with them. Be nice. Don't make this political. It's about helping people, helping Americans. Don't make it political. Don't do that, please. You know, like people are dying. Just understand that. You know, like we have right now there's like actors and stuff fleeing on foot from their homes. Because this is hitting LA now. And it ain't stopping. It's getting worse. You know how fires work too? It's exponential. Do you know what that means? You know, like instead of multiplying something, you multiply it by itself so that it continuously grows. So like instead of you doing a multiplication, it's that little thing, the number that sits above it, catty cornered, you know, up in the corner, and you're doing math. We're talking about that. We're talking about an exponential growth. This is how fire works. So if you don't get ahead of it, if you don't get bigger than it, then it will be. You will always fail to extinguish. Always, always, always. You have to get bigger than it to extinguish it. Otherwise, it will win every time because it has exponential growth. That's how fire works. Wind, environmental factors, all the buildings, the wood, everything it has to burn down is an environmental factor. Everything affects it. So you can't take that for granted. You have to get bigger than it. That's what it's going to take. It's always just going to take more help. So please don't hesitate to help, to reach out somehow. Please. He didn't text back yet, by the way. So hopefully, like I said, I'm sure it's fine. As of yesterday, he was texting, and he was fine. Seemed fine anyway. So, but I haven't heard from him either. So, but I know he's busy. I mean, I suppose I could just check his stream. I'm sure if I check his stream, he's probably been on. I just haven't had a chance. I've been working. When I get home and obviously set this up. But yeah, this is crazy. I've been trying to stay up on this too because it matters. I think right now there's actually a press conference that we're waiting to see.
American flag flapped from a pole here. Let's go back out now to the images of Skyfox. I know a lot of people want to continue to see that as we are watching these really fires just really pick up at random spots.
Oh my God, yeah. No lie, there is no fire around. Like, so when we're looking at a highway right now, okay? And it's just a normal highway. The fire's not there yet. Like, you can tell that the smoke cover is there, and it's gonna be there at some point. But, like, it ain't there. Like, it's probably off by maybe a half mile to a mile. And there's just this car on the highway, on a normal highway, not closed, on fire. Well, maybe it's closed. There's a bunch of cars, and maybe they're emergency vehicles. I'm sure they probably have it closed because the car's on fire. But, like, the point is, it's just a normal road, no fires or anything around it, but the car burst into flames, basically. And just, wow. This is what we're talking about, like, about environmental factors and stuff like that. This is what you have to realize. He is saying, that these things are just happening in random spots, and you have to kind of agree with him. Like, the chances of a car fire happening like half a mile to a mile away from the actual gigantic fire itself, yeah, we're talking about embers. We're talking about things that are projectiling far enough that they're hitting cars that far away. Because this fire is that much strength behind it. And that's what you have to realize. The bigger this thing gets, the more almost like a hurricane it becomes. This is what you have to realize about, like, wildfires, is they become like vortexes and stuff. They really do. Like, you'll see like a vortex of fire, and it'll just, like, all of a sudden, like, go off into a field and then just catch that on fire. This is what happens. It's not just like a slow moving thing. No. No. All of a sudden, this place over here is just burst into flames because some projectile, some thing blew up or something like that, and it just landed over there like a half mile away and caught that on fire. And now that just expands to the other fire and catches everything in between on fire. And thus, again, you have the essence of what I was talking about exponential growth. Yeah, it's incalculable. You can't do it. That's why it's almost impossible to put these things out. So I get, like, that it's really hard, like, for other states, like, on the east and stuff like that to kind of understand and relate to this, because it just doesn't happen. Imagine, though, like, when it is in the summer, you know how it's kind of been hot lately? A lot more lately? You know how, like, I've actually seen it. Have you ever had the experience where, like, if it's really hot, it's been hot for weeks, everything's hot, plastic's almost melting, and then all of a sudden, maybe you go outside and your trash can's on fire? Something like that. And all you had in there was, like, trash, right? Yeah, so, like, this is what we're talking about, is, like, it's nobody's fault. It's not like California did something wrong. You know what I mean? Like, this is what I think they don't understand, is, like, they're probably just, like, thinking it's, like, somehow their fault or posting blame, or like this is what they don't get, is like, this is why they need so much help, is like, no, it just happens, man. It's hot over there. And the environment is such that, yeah, remember, it's getting hot here too. It was like 70, almost 80 degrees the one day in December. And consistently warm in December. We're talking, in Pennsylvania, it's supposed to be temperate. It ain't supposed to be like 60s, 70s in December. It was, for most of December, it was 50s, 60s, sometimes 70s. December. It's temperate. It's supposed to be like, literally like winter, 30s, 40s. Period. And it this year, no. So the point is, we are starting to actually have the effects over here now. It's just more gradual. We don't notice it as much. Over there, where it's tropical, they already had the palm trees and such. We know that. It's super warm. So on top of what they already have, now they have... You get what I'm saying? They almost basically don't have a winter anymore. I remember a lot of the time when I spent some time in Florida, and this was before I even kind of noticed a lot of the environmental impacts and stuff were felt kind of normal. I even noticed you know, when I spent some time there, most of the time in winter it was actually pretty comfortable too. Yeah. And so like you have to realize is like, okay, so like they didn't even really have like a normal sort of winter anyway on top of that. So now here we are in January. So now here we are in January. And the point is they probably aren't really having a normal winter. It's just hot. Right? Yeah, let's see what the temperature is and oh, hold on. Alright, let's see. Hold on. Well, it's just like 40 degrees, right? I'm just kidding. Can I just like look up type anything about that? I'll just look up the alright, I'll just look up like temperature. Like you look up anything from there, it's literally just about like fires. Here, I'll just type it on the top here. Hold on. Alright, you know what? I'm gonna do this one. Oh, what a piece of shit. What the heck? Alright. There we go. Jeez. I had to type Los Angeles. Didn't have fucking Eaton. It's 66 degrees, man. It's literally 66 degrees right now. And January 9th. At 4 p.m. in California. It's 66 degrees. That's hot. That is hot. Winter is supposed to be like cold, man. 66. Nah. Should be like 50. 55. As a really warm day, maybe 60. 66 in January. No. I mean, and the point is, I'm sure it gets to 80 sometimes. Can I be frank with you guys? Some of you guys that don't pay attention don't know, like, some of the markets and understand and, like, why, like, it's obvious with some of the stuff. If you know anything about, like, vineyards and, like, winemaking and stuff like that, what you have to realize is that some of the people that own some of that land up north, they realized it. Because the point was that wine vineyards have to be in a very critical, specific spot. Can't be too hot. Can't be too cold. And they gotta be where they gotta be. And everybody knows, like, Napa Valley. Everybody, like, knows the big ones, right? But also, everybody also knows the point is they're really coveted in those really specific spots, and it's all about frost. Okay? So what you have to realize, some of those people that had to land up north started realizing that regular winters were no longer happening in certain areas and started popping up vineyards there. And they started working out just fine. So this is what I want to reiterate to some of you that like kind of again don't understand that it's getting a little too warm. That's not normal. You want, like, the point is, the closer you get to the poles, the further north you get, the more frozen it is, and there's a reason for that. We need that. The point has always been that the ice caps are melting and that it's getting warmer further north, and that's just trickling down. So, I mean, obviously we're already past the point of no return, but the point is, like, slow it down at least. This is crazy. This huge fire on this car. All right, let's go see what's happening now.
The airdrops compare to what we saw in Pacific Palisades and Altadena.
Yeah, the airdrops make all the difference in the world as it relates to strategy. And from your news feed, you can see the effectiveness of our fixed-wing aircraft or the effectiveness of the helicopters making their targeted drops around the structures. One thing that is missing that's very vital, though, is that we do need to give boots in the ground, which we say are our ground resources, because it's important that once these drops are made, that we have firefighters and our crew members down cutting containment lines to keep the fire from flaring up again.
Okay, so basically, did you hear that? What they're saying the need is, for them, I think mostly is what this guy's saying is when they do those airdrops, they need boots on the ground to be able to cut the lines from firing back up again. Essentially, they need to be down there working hard to make sure it doesn't continue spreading. And that's what I was started talking about getting ahead of it. So if you know how a fire works, is what they'll do is, I think what he's kind of talking about is cutting the ground, cutting it in certain spots, digging, cutting and cutting lines under the ground and stuff. What you have to realize is there are lines underground. There's a lot of stuff underground that's affecting this probably, and stuff happening. So what he's referring to is just getting ahead and actually getting that trench dug around it, so that once it gets to that point, sort of kind of halts and stops, and just getting enough people there to kind of do that, and to kind of organize that, yeah, like these guys are here to do this and this and this on the ground as soon as we drop this with water, so that way it's not pointless. That way when we drop the water, it's contained right there, right then and there, and nothing else spreads to that spot. It doesn't just keep freaking burning. Does that make sense? So that's, I think, kind of what he's talking about. The sort of the basics of it explained a bit. But yeah, obviously, it's better just to show you, like, obviously, if I could show you somehow. But yeah, basically, that's what they do. They have, like, pickaxes and stuff like that, and they just hit the dirt a lot of times. If it's a forest fire, yeah, like if it's just forest, but we're talking about like houses and stuff like that. We're talking about concrete. We're talking about like all kinds of stuff's gonna be there. So yeah, they're gonna have pickaxes and stuff like that, but this is heavy duty stuff. So they just need lots of manpower, more than likely. So again, please help if you can. Please. 17,000 people watching this live feed. Good. Not this one. Here, I'll share it. Go watch it, guys. Go watch it. Please go watch it. Oh, I'll put it... Right, I don't have the chat. I'll put it in the description after. I'll put it after. But if you want to search it, it's the Live Now. It's the Live Now Fox thing. It says live coverage of fires in Southern California. It's that. You can go watch that. There's 17,000 people watching that. We're just checking that out. So.
Fire up to 2 hours.
He's still going.
They're designed to address a commercial fire for maybe 5 hours, but they're not designed to have, dozens of fire trucks at the same time drawing water out of it at the same time. So it was inevitable that this was going to happen.
How do we prevent this from happening in the future? I mean, when you say it's inevitable, we had our meteorologist here forecasting these destructive, life-threatening winds last week. How do we prevent this from happening again?
I think it's twofold. One, it has to be a lot of discipline from the firefighters themselves, recognizing that these systems are not designed to draw that much water out of the system for a long duration at the same time. Firefighters, they have to make extremely difficult decisions when they're in these wildfire environments as far as triaging and making determinations which buildings they can save and which buildings they cannot save. And I'm sure you and our viewers saw in some instances there were firefighters indiscriminately putting water on buildings that were not going to be saved. So that takes a lot of discipline. That's number one. Number two, there needs to be a coordinated effort in relation to water companies coordinating with fire departments as it relates to water supply, and then when water mains are breaking within the fire area,
Okay.
that they quickly shut those off so we're preserving water. And then lastly,
So he is making a lot of pretty decent points there. It really just sounds like this part of California has an issue with water supply. That's what it sounds like. So what I will say is that California has some pretty rugged terrain. And with rugged terrain, you have like thick, dense rock in that ground. And the denser the rock, the more difficult it is to maintain any type of piping or get it in there in the first place. And considering that it's California and they get earthquakes, they got the San Andreas Fault, these earthquakes are only getting worse. The fault line's getting worse. Yeah, it's just, you're gonna have bursting pipes. You're gonna have these things happen. There are earthquakes. It is California. The terrain is rugged. Yeah, for sure. And basically, what would be great, I know this sounds crazy. But what if, like, we had, hear me out, somewhere out, like, all right, not in LA, but like outside of LA, like Eaton. Perfect. Where there's like some open area land where you could flatten it out a bit. There's enough there, just a little bit, not a ton. You just need a little bit, but obviously like LA is a little too dense. So Eaton would be fine. Build a few skyscrapers. Make these things pretty tall. They don't gotta be like the freaking thing in Dubai or anything, but like just skyscraper height. And make these things water pumping towers. but to a building degree that is a skyscraper that can withstand earthquakes. They can do that now. They can architecturally design skyscrapers to withstand earthquakes now. So the worst thing that would happen is some pipes would burst. You don't have crews really in there. Maybe a few guys here and there. But the point is, it's just a giant skyscraper, but they're water towers. They're not the usual water towers. And they're just pipes. They're just huge freaking massive pipes that just go up for like a, however high one of those skyscrapers is. So that's it. And you just have a bunch of them. And this pipes your water. Now, you'd have to pipe it in once in a while, clearly. But, yeah. For the life of me, I never understood why more third-party companies haven't figured out a way to make a business out of this and then provide clean water to more areas around the U.S. You can literally just do this by contracting through the local governments. You're a contractor. You know that's how they do it, right? They just go through companies like contractors. And eventually it just ends up being like, unfortunately, sort of ends up being kind of like a monopoly, but it's really not. It's just that basically they end up going through one company because that's who ends up going through them, and because that's the only people doing it. Like, okay, so do it then. Start a company. Invest in it. We need more rich people to do that. Please. Clean water. It's so important. And that's basically what this guy's saying too. Just the access to water is scarce.
With the great wins that we had, but by God, this thing really worked, and we can learn a lot from these kinds of things. And when we rebuild, as they did in Coffee Park up in Santa Rosa, as they're doing right now up in Paradise, fires that I covered where things were wiped out, they're putting better resistant houses together. And when you do that, you lower the risk of the house being burned. But the other thing you do is you lower the risk for the insurance companies. One of the big problems that we're going to have to deal with here, and this is a major problem, is that the commissioner of insurance had made a deal with the insurance companies to impose some new rules that would get them to hopefully come back into the market and compete with each other to sell policies and not just lay it all off on the FAIR plan, which is not a very good plan, which incidentally is completely administered by the insurance companies themselves. But what happens now is they're going to look at this and they're going to get very, very shaky boots about all of this. And they're going to say,
shaky boots.
This isn't the best place to sell insurance. Maybe this is so dangerous because this is an urban area.
This guy.
Area, not Paradise. Some other place like Middletown up in Lake County. So one of the things that's going to happen is we're going to have some sort of rapprochement about what we're really going to do about insurance, because this proves that this is a big loss, multi-billion. It could actually be bigger than the Paradise loss because of all the infrastructure that will have to be replaced, plus the price of the home.
This guy's great.
Greater here than they are in a place like Paradise. So all of that has to be considered, and this insurance thing is absolutely essential for one reason. The entire economy depends on the insurance. You can't buy a home or rent a home. I'm sorry. You can't buy a home or finance a home without insurance. If you can't do that,
interrupt you real briefly.
He's like, I gotta interrupt you real briefly.
Channel 13, flip to 11.
That was so great. He just kept going about insurance.
People that may be looking for that coverage.
Amazing.
Go ahead. Finish your point.
okay. Well, again, the point that I want to make is,
So go ahead, finish your point.
Unresolved in California. And now that we've had this fire, this is a high water mark. Something is going to have to happen that's going to change the fundamental nature of how we insure homes in California. who is going to insure homes? Is it going to be by private companies? Is it going to be done in a public fashion? Is reinsurance, the insurance that insurance companies buy to protect themselves from big losses, going to have to be underwritten by taxpayers or the state or the federal government? None of that is known now. But this fire is going to make the big difference in that, because this fire was totally unexpected. It happened out of the fire season, and because of that, we have a real problem here with insurance, and we're going to find out how big that problem is going forward, because whatever deal the insurance commissioner made.
I wanna elect this guy. Can we just elect this guy? Can this guy be president? This guy's awesome. I already have way more faith in this guy right here. Like, this is the fact that he cares so much about this insurance problem. I love it. He's like, we've really gotta get a. He's just, this insurance thing is just really a problem. I just really want to reiterate that this insurance companies are really ripping us off. And oh man, he's no lie. This dude is literally wearing a yellow, like, raincoat. He looks like. He looks like an old Johnny Carson or something like that. Like, he's got like the white hair and it's to the side. And again, he has a yellow raincoat and it just says media. And then above it is a little Smokey the Bear icon. I love it. It's so great. This guy's amazing. This guy's a meme right here. Somebody do it, please.
With the
Those areas west of Interstate 5, New
Oh
Home,
no! We skipped
Silmar,
ahead.
Weldon.
I missed this part. That was amazing. That dude's famous now. No doubt.
Canyon, Sunshine Canyon land, right up vegetation on the other side. And we've seen a lot of water drops. Those drops coming from crews that were fighting the Palisades fire. No word on any structure.
There is so much smoke. It's just when they zoom out like that and you can actually see the California coastline. Like, they're zoomed out enough that you can actually like measure with your fingers along the California coastline. That's how far zoomed out they are. And there's just smoke covering the whole screen. It's just like, oh my god. That's crazy.
One of the women couldn't even tell which house was hers. That's how little was left. We had to look at the street numbers to.
So, just wanna like paint a picture here. The reporter that's talking is actually, she has her face mask around her neck, because again you would have one there because it would just be coughing all the time without one. And she's actually wearing an eye shield, and you would. It would actually be a common thing to see people there wearing eye shields and stuff like that, because again, those things protect the respiratory from particles and stuff. And it's just gonna be all through the air there. You would easily get sick very quickly. without protection. So yeah, you know, just how, wow, you know, like that's kind of the point, is like, yeah, that's how it would be if you were surrounded, like, just smoke covered environment, that sort of thing.
Figure it out. And as she went through the rubble, she found a mug. There was one ceramic mug that was hacked, and she also found a tin that contained her birth certificate. And so she was happy to see that, but wasn't sure that what was inside the contents. In fact, we were dodging down power lines. There's still trees that are smoldering, so those could topple at any time. And there are fire trucks moving all around, and there's still some homes that are either smoldering or burning, and just a ton of.
Yeah. So yeah, officially it's spread to LA. Looking at the live feed right there, Los Angeles, and there's just smoke all over. It's spreading. It has hit LA.
Ton, sadly, of devastation. And unfortunately, that will likely be the case for some of the other people who are waiting here. Some, though, will see perhaps a miracle, because as we've seen time and time again, you'll go down a street and the whole street will be completely leveled and one house will be untouched. Let's send it back to you.
Learned about information and misinformation, a major blunder from the county. The person who usually is on at this time is Harvey Levin from TMZ. This is his time slot when we're usually airing TMZ Live.
So, man, what you have to realize is, like, this is gonna spread, and, like, probably not be put out for quite some time. That's what's concerning, is that, like, not enough, like, I know flat out, not enough people are going to take this seriously and help, and it's going to spread massively and cause so much destruction. Something really big and important is going to be lost, or something like that, and then something will be done. I just, it's so weird. But, you know, like, all I can say too is, you know, like, if you feel like you have any pull with senators, you know, even the administration coming in to office, you know, if you feel like you have any say or you know, ability to convince, you know, people to you know, in the incoming administration and the new senators that were elected, you know, yada yada yada, anybody in government, federal specifically, that would be willing to, you know, essentially help and do something about this, and get together and actually agree to help before this becomes a massive thing. That would be amazing. Like, that would help so much. And think about how many lives you could save before, and how much damage you could prevent before something really big happens. And I only hope that people realize that it's they just don't have enough. There's not enough people to help. Like, it's just about the amount. Like, you have to realize it's not like the regular people can really do anything about it. They're not firefighters. You know what I mean? They don't have fire trucks. They don't have gear. They don't, You know what I mean? Like you need firefighters, you need first responders, you need people that can and are willing to volunteer, that are already doing these jobs, to organize, get together, and go help. So yeah, you know, obviously, a lot of people are in tough situations of their own lately, and I understand that. But you know, a lot of these people just lost their homes to a random fire. And just 1,000 plus, man. You know, like the point is like, let's do something before it's 10,000. You know, please.
And Harvey, instead of responding at all, she just stood there, and it went for several minutes. That clip went viral, promoted in part by Elon Musk. Our interview with Rick Caruso went viral, promoted in part by Elon Musk. Donald Trump talking about it, and it seems like especially a lot of the right-wing accounts are really pushing this, but it's going beyond even just some of the conservative media, and there's a lot of folks. And then when you have incidents like what we just had, this alert going out, it raises questions about competence. It raises questions about who's in charge. Can you do your job? And there's already so many people that are feeling concerned about that, and they don't see their leaders. I mean, I appreciate everybody's busy, and you know, but we've asked for days to talk to Governor Newsom, and they've said no every time. We've asked for days to talk to Mayor Bass, and she has been doing a couple press conferences a day, but hasn't been doing one-on-one interviews. I mean, they have an opportunity to get in front of this and talk to people directly for whatever reason, and they're all busy, and I get that, and you got to balance everything, but
Right, but part of the state is burning down. You don't think that constitutes suddenly not being busy? You shouldn't do that job then. That doesn't make any sense to me. You know what I mean? Like something in that state's burning down, and you have that job. Like you're what? That's your job. Like that's what you do. You stop everything and you do that, because then people know that you care and you give a shit. This is what you're for. That's what we, huh? That's actually what they're for, by the way.
But, you know, we certainly would welcome.
But we don't want to put that tone out over our air here at Live Now from Fox Sports.
This is what politicians are supposed to be doing, guys. Stuff like this. It happens, boom. Cleanup crew, everybody there to take care of it. It doesn't matter. This is what your tax dollars go to, because this is what they have. They have this squared away. They'll take care of you. Don't worry. You elected them. California, part of California is burning down. And they're like, oh, well, whatever.
From all over the country, no emergencies at this time, but we can now listen back in to their coverage.
Leadership. Make it this kind, you know, jump on it politically, I think almost diminishes the point. And, you know, when you have disasters, and I mean, this is as big a disaster as anything I've seen in the city in my lifetime, and I'm old. And, you know, this is where you need somebody, you know, to hear how we're pulling everything together and what we're doing. And, you know, people are worried about rebuilding, where they're going to live, what they're going to do, how it affects everybody. And you want to hear from leaders, and you want to hear a plan. And
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, it's like, don't go on. It's simply true. Great, you went on national television for a national platform. This is a local story. And there are, you know, and people are consuming information, not watching CNN.
Yeah, I actually kind of agree with the guy. Like, I feel like people think that just because, like, everybody blasts CNN because of how reliable they had been over the years, past tense, that the few times recently that some things have happened, like, I just feel like people are being way too crazy about that stuff. Like, because, like, actually it makes a really good point. Like, you have, like, Fox News, for example, that's just irresponsible with their reporting almost every day. And then CNN kind of just once in a while screws up, says the wrong thing, or just a reporter being an ass. Like, truthfully, they know they're misreporting, and then, like, they just say something dumb. Yeah, okay, so I get it. But the point is, like, no, there's plenty of outlets that do it way worse, and these folks are hanging on to every word. I agree with what that guy was saying. Like, this is what people do. They just want an excuse to blast CNN because they love Fox so much. That's literally it. It's literally people picking a side. I guarantee it. It's CNN or Fox. It's like Ford or Chevy. People have done this in their brains. It's so pathetic. It's so basic and elementary. That's not the case. Fox constantly misreports. I don't care that you think that, like, they're great and stuff like that. That's nice, and it's nice that they always try to defend Trump. That's great, whatever. But the point is, like, that they misreport a lot. And like flat out we know it's to defend them. So, like, why continue to just do that? Why not just get on board with everybody else that's finally telling the truth? Like, you know what I mean? Like, this is what makes these voters so much in denial. They just watch this stuff and they just get further, like, I don't know, like, it just further allows the denial, I suppose, denial train to take over. You know, like, we're just they're justifying all the lies that you've heard. Like, oh yeah, and that's the point. They will. You know, they're giving you a justification, even though they know it's misreporting. Yeah, Fox News does it all the time. And, like, the couple of times CNN did, people just blasted the hell out of them. It's literally everything in politics. That exact example is exactly what people do with Republicans and Democrats. I shit you not. Like Republicans all day long will have the dumbest policies lately. I'm just saying lately. I'm not saying forever. I'm not saying like back a while. I'm just saying lately. They'll have some of the stupidest policies I've ever heard. It's like it's basically like when Trump tried to give you the Affordable Care Act, but what stripped down bare bones would have costed you more money and brought back pre-existing conditions. And it almost got voted in, but John McCain flew in from his emergency tumor removal surgery to vote no because he understood how terrible that would have been. And like, the point is, like Republicans have been doing this for quite a bit now. And all they're doing is just blaming the Democrats for the shit they're getting up to. Meanwhile, yeah, the Democrat fucks up once in a while. So then they just blast them for, like, the one or few times that they screw up here and there. And you blow it way out of proportion. You don't even know the truth of it. And they just blow it way out of proportion and you believe every word. Like the emails. Like the Hillary Clinton thing. None of you knew any of the facts. You still don't. I'm just being honest, man. I'm not trying to make this all political. I'm just being truthful with you. Okay? No, like that's truthful, and I've found that to be still pretty consistent, that people don't really know the facts. You can look it up. It's not to be rude. Like, I just really want you to understand that she didn't do anything wrong. Literally didn't. That's it. Like, I want you to just actually see her as a good person, because she was. I mean, think about the position she held in our government for so long and did that job pretty well, I might add. Bill Clinton was a very successful president who had a surplus and he got elected twice. People loved that guy. And remember, he was the president that changed it up. He started doing conservative-like policies. And the Democrats after him took lead. They did it too. They started doing it too. It started with Clinton. Yeah. That's why it flipped and reversed. And it pissed the Republicans off, so they just got mad and started raging like lunatics. Which is why originally the Democrats were winning hands down for so long. But then the Republicans got a little bit better at campaigning. And they just blasted Hillary. Just made a bunch of shit up. Because they could. I'm just being honest with you guys. I'm not bullshitting you. Like I get that every politician is gonna make some shit up once in a while. I get that. But what you have to get is whether I care or whether what they're making up or have anything to do with what they're making up and shit has anything to do with me or my decision on whether or not they can run office. So, did you know that Hillary Clinton was ordered to have a private server where she had it? Did you know that? She was ordered to do that. These are the facts. They grilled her for X amount of time, like an interrogation. She was found, again, this is just Hillary Clinton. And we're talking about somebody that probably does this very well and does it for a living. And he interrogated her for, we're talking hours. I don't know how long it was. We're talking probably hours, okay? And just like anybody else. So, like don't sit here and say that they didn't find anything. Because the point is, that's the point. They already tried. And they grilled her on it. And the whole point is they did their due diligence to make sure she was telling the truth. That's all. That's it. That's where it stops, man. Why are you worried about, like, that's the point. Like, the people doing those jobs did those jobs. What? So, like, this is the point. Nobody looks anything up, and they just, like, hate her. No, she was overly qualified. That's why we all thought she'd win. Nobody wanted her for president because you realized she was a woman. It was an excuse. It's always an excuse. I promise you this is the only reason. It's the only reason for Harris, too. We're talking about two very overly qualified people. I mean, like, people tell me all the time, like, Harris, like, lies and says this, says that. It's like, about what? Please tell me, I'd love to know. And then they don't really give me any examples. They insult me or something like that. There was one conflicting issue that she said. One conflicting issue. And I actually explained it for her. She didn't need the explanation. She didn't owe it to anybody. I explained it, though, because I understood why it happened. It's literally that simple. And it's just a misunderstanding from the people that would vote for her. Now, I get it. I get that it sends mixed messages. But if you understand why the decision was made, you might think differently of her. Okay, you know Biden has come into office and actually kind of done some things I didn't really necessarily care for. Now, I love the guy. And I think he's good. Because he did some things that I did like. But he also continued some Trump things that I didn't care for, like the tariffs and stuff like that. He actually continued stuff I didn't want him to do from the Trump administration. And he sort of kind of actually does lean a little that way. He's very middle for a Democrat, which you have to realize. and Harris not so much. And so when she went and became his running mate, she had to flip her opinion on, I think, a couple of I think it was really just mainly just one opinion on something, and I forget exactly what it was now. But some people were irritated that you know, she said that she was for this, and then now she's, or you know, she was against this, and now she's for it, or something like that, or some other way around. And the point was that no. When she became Biden's vice president, his running mate, immediately you realize that she is going to support and 100% implicitly back up anything Biden says for his administration. Because that's what you do. He's the boss. Okay? So you just have to realize, like, that's just a matter of opinions on certain policies and things like that. That's where you get into debating. This is what nobody knows how to do. That's the debate I want to hear. That's the intelligent debate. And nobody will do it because nobody even knows that much. Nobody ever even gave me that much. I'm just being honest with you guys. I know a lot of times this ends up being political, but I just feel like there's a lot of folks that when they get their information with politics, they sort of kind of get it from somebody that I feel like people don't know how to take them. Like they lean, like it's very obvious they lean one way or another. And this is why, like, I want you guys to realize that I'm the guy with the pink lights and the cat ears, but I also say fucking shit. Okay, like I'm that guy. You know, like I grew up just cultured, you know? That's all. Just accepting differences. And not labeling this as anything but a color. See, this is the problem. People go like 20 years of their lives labeling this in their brain as something that's like gay. Or like effeminate, basically. You know, is what they do in their mind. But it's not. It's just a fucking color, man. This is like most people's problems with like most stuff these days. Like they can't get over these like basic concepts in their mind, and they're essentially based. And you know, like I get it that it started as a joke, but now people have taken it too far. The point is you don't be based. The point was it's a joke. You shouldn't be that way. Based. Why is that a good thing? Why are you bragging about being based? Boy, it's really nice to subdivide and categorize an entire group of people, isn't it? You must feel really good about yourselves. Like this is what you're doing. You're like, oh, based. Why do you do this stuff? And then I gotta tell you you're doing it because you don't understand it. You just think people are emotional. You don't bother to actually understand what you're doing. This is the issue. You are based. You don't give a shit. You should. Because you expect people to give a shit about the things that bother you. Does that make sense? Like everybody's the same. I gotta be honest with you, like that's kind of the point, you know. And then like the folks that act like that, we all know who they're voting for. Like it is a sort of based sort of thing. They have that issue, and they know a lot of the Democrats are voting for too, because they look a certain way. Yeah, sure. There's a base, there's a demographic, sure. There's a stereotype, sure. So why do you do that? Why aren't you all more like me? Wearing your fucking cat ears with your pink lights. Why do you have these things where you think that's gay, or you think this is gay, or you think that like people that do that look gay or look a certain way? Why aren't they just cute cat ears and a cool light? Because pink colors and bright colors are awesome. Why? Why isn't it that? Why? Why? Why do you make people feel a certain way because they like a fucking color? Do you know why? Because probably when you were younger, somebody made you feel a certain way about a certain group of people. And talked about a certain group of people in front of you. And thus convinced you and brainwashed you into believing this about these types of people. You are based on who taught you that. Based on who taught you to be and think that way. Based on the person that exposed you to that type of thinking. People should be allowed to decide for themselves. You shouldn't force people to into religion, music, colors, anything. Choose what you want. Who the fuck cares? It don't matter if you're black or white, as MJ said. It don't matter. Pink, blue, purple, green, orange. Doesn't matter, man. They're just colors. It's literally the way the light refracts and reflects off the fucking molecules of the surface. And you're getting your panties all in a bunch because guys like that color. You know why this bothers you? Because you liked it too, and you weren't allowed. That's why. Just want you to know that. Okay? Just to let you know. Okay? You have a problem, and you haven't gotten over it. Admit that you like that color. Just stop it already. It's like all of you that actually want to vote for Biden or Kamala, and you can't actually admit it. You actually love them, but you have to hate them. So you do. You hate them with a passion. And you don't even know why. You don't even have a good reason. You just fucking do it. It's this. It's basic as that. It's the same thing. But again, because you never got over that, the way you feel about those types of things, you can't get over... Because again, you don't actually look these things up. Remember, you lie to everybody. You pretend to be an expert on politics. All of you. You just decide. Well, I'm telling you, you're doing it wrong. It's much better to pick the lesser of the... Yeah, and you think the lesser of the two evils is... No. Like the point is you're choosing wrong because you can't understand the concept of why this matters. Why this, just what I just talked about with this, with pink, basically. For sure. And some of you even right now, as we talk about the color pink, probably feel uncomfortable. Why? Why? Let me tell you guys something. And again, I'm just being honest with you. I feel like this is important to say because we're talking about this and because it does... Usually this is where people place people in their brains and associate them. Let me just get this out there, okay? I'm a straight man. I'm not gay. And I have no problem. It does not make me uncomfortable. Man, let me tell you what. I have pink shirts. I don't even feel a certain way about it. I just wear it, man. That's your problem. And you make it everybody else's. Yeah. You actually have like this real mental issue, and you make it everybody else's, and it's really that basic. The color pink. Tough guys will wear pink? No. I like the shirt that says real men wear pink. I like that one. Because it shouldn't freaking matter, it's just a color. Again, you have a real problem. If you think that matters, that makes you feel uncomfortable, thinking about the color pink or something like that as anything but a fucking color, man. I think it's pretty cool. I love it. It's bright. It's a great color, man. But I like all the colors. That's why I do this. That's why I have the Roy G. Biv. Yeah, you have to understand, like, colors are amazing. They are. Some of you dull people go your whole lives just blue, black, blue, black, black, black. And some of you people are some of the most miserable fucking people I have ever met. You're worthless. I'm not trying to be mean, but you know it. You know it. You don't bring anything to the table. And all you wear is black, right? Like, literally all you wear is black or fucking blue, or like literally everything you have is one fucking color, because that's the color you like. That's the one that makes you comfortable. You don't experiment with yellow. You don't own a single fucking yellow shirt. Okay. Do you know why? Because some of you don't understand that your skin reflects light differently depending on the color shirt you wear. And you don't understand that people actually do treat you differently and approach you differently. And some of you don't understand that looking at different colors actually affects the brain differently. These are proven facts. You literally look that up. I'm not making this shit up. I'm just being honest with you. This is the truth. Okay? Looking at different colors affects the brain. We've proven that. And yeah, it's most people. There's some real wackos out there. I don't give a shit about colors. But like, for the most part, yeah. And like, that's the point is you know, like your brain will experience reactions based on that. So what you don't understand is that pink makes you happy. It does. Makes you feel warm and good. For some of you, it makes you uncomfortable. That's your problem. You don't feel good being comfortable. You're uncomfortable showing people that you're comfortable. You want to look badass. You want to look fucking cool. You think all black or all blue. Like the point is, that's how you think probably. So anyway, just realize that you want to get over things like that. Because when you're 50, 60 something, you're gonna. It's just gonna take forever. One day it's just gonna. You're just gonna be like, why was I like that for X amount of time? Like, it's just the color. Yep. Pretty nice color too. Lots of flowers are that color. Flowers are pretty freaking awesome, man. It's life. Yeah. So anyway, stuff like that. That's why like you can base things, obviously, like people know, because like they just look at somebody and they typically look a certain way, they typically wear certain things, they typically act a certain way, they typically do to very typical things that most of these guys would label as like liberal or something like that. And what you have to realize is like you're using that, a lot of you just kind of use that term wrong too. And like I know I've talked about this before, but like that's where you have to realize the general public isn't even informed. Like they're just using terms wrong, and it's like a regular thing. Yeah, just like people don't know that the roles are reversed anymore. That Republicans aren't conservative. What the hell's conservative about Donald Trump? What? What? The fact that he wants to cause chaos in the Middle East? How's that conservative? When he answered North Korea and he said it's going to be a fire and fury, the likes of which they've never seen, or something like that. How's that conservative? Huh? When he doesn't respect a court's decisions and he just fights back constantly, everything he just fights back, gets them to overturn things. He just goes to a different judge or something like that. He just gets to do that. How's that conservative? Not respecting the court's decision, yada yada yada. How is that what? There's so many things that you could say about the man, but there's really nothing I can say that's conservative. He's a billionaire. How was that conservative? If he was really a conservative, like, nothing about him would be how it is. Like he would be very giving. There'd be evidence of it. There wouldn't, when he gives things, there wouldn't just be like an account that it goes into that just goes to Donald Trump Jr. That's just a scam. He did that, by the way. I mean, like, just come on. He's a conservative. Just anything he says, nothing he says is conservative. The point you have to realize is that the Democrats are now. Yeah. Like, the roles are reversed. Like it's been that kind of that way for a bit now. And again, remember, I said this, like, Clinton started this. And the others just kind of followed suit because he was successful. Democrats were different before Clinton. Yeah. Now, I mean, Kennedy, we won't get another like him or Obama. I'll say that. Obama was one of a kind as well. Very bipartisan. But like, I'm just tired of like absolutely nobody being reasonable about politics. Nobody talks about it reasonably. Oh, they're all liars and blah, 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 blah. They just say these things. Come on, let's talk about it reasonably. Oh, they're all puppets and no, like, come on. They're guys that do a job they're paid to do. Let's talk about it fucking reasonably. Come on. Stop it with the bullshit. Like, nobody does this. Nobody. Tired of it. So that's what you get with me. You get finally somebody that talks reasonably about this shit. And I'm just going to be honest with you. I'm not going to tell you anything I haven't looked up and completely made up off the top of my head. Or if I'm wrong, I'll look it up and admit to it. I'll be like, oh shit, my bad. I guess not. I've done this before. On stream. Yeah, even some things I didn't know about Obama. I'd admitted they irritated. You know, it's actually what led to me disliking Biden administration a little bit more and finding out that they didn't like some of the things they were actually doing a little bit. Well, just some. But like ethically, you know, like ethics wise, like there's just no comparison. Like this is the point. Like the fact that like we're just to the point that like it's this concept. It reverts back to this. If you guys see me pointing at the pink, you know what I'm talking about. It's just the basic concept that people just they can't translate that. They don't understand that it's just about the ethics of it. It's how you look at certain things and treat people and act. That's all. You know, like it's temperament. Yeah, the point is, under pressure and stuff like that, nuclear war, yeah, all kinds of stuff. I want to know that this man makes the right decision, and he's not affected by things like this, stupid shit like that. Because you know, this is the point. You know, like why is he deporting all these people? Why is he announcing he's just going to deport all these people? Like why is he doing this? Are they actually illegal? This is what he says, but like you have to realize he didn't do this before. He's caused chaos before and then blamed it on the Democrats. He literally just caused a crisis at the border. Because again, we had a process. We just needed more resources. So we needed him to make a plan. All he did was cause chaos. Start separating families. Cause chaos. I'm sure you remember all this. Started building a wall. Didn't finish it. It was just chaos. Reinstated ICE. They deported a shitload of people they shouldn't have. Like just chaos, man. And he's claiming it was Kamala's fault. He did that. There's no border crisis. I'm just being honest with you. Again, this is the reasonable take. This is what you have to realize. There's a lot of propaganda surrounding this nonsense. You're gonna find this article, this article, this article. I followed it from the beginning. All that happened was that initially some of the guards and stuff like that were starting to get overwhelmed. Because there's just more traffic, there's more people. And so they're claiming they need more guards, they need more support, they need more this and that. Trump turned this into a border crisis and said, oh, the Democrats need to do blah, blah. Okay, Well, if the Republicans in Congress would sign a bill to fucking give them more money and hire people, then great. Are you kidding me? So why can't the Texas government handle this? It's literally their fucking state. The Mr. Red Texas state can't handle this shit. So this is my point. You're blaming Democrats, yet it's the fucking state of Texas that we're talking about here. Basically. Stop it with the petty nonsense you don't understand. She's the border czar? Okay. Do you not understand? Again, like, this is the point. People don't understand how the border worked. I followed it from the beginning, okay? There was no border crisis. It started with the fact they needed more support, needed more guards. They wouldn't do it. Trump turned it into a border crisis, blamed the Democrats. When he was in office, he caused this whole ruckus about it, chaos. He tried to make it look like he was doing things, but he made things worse. And then he just wasn't president anymore, obviously. He just spent a bunch of money and made things worse. Why don't you just give them resources? More people. More cars or whatever transportation things they need. More utilities in general. More resources. Why didn't he just do that? Oh no, we're gonna build a wall we can't build, and we're gonna claim that Mexico. What? No, like it doesn't even make any sense. It's not a plan. He knows that. He knew that. Donald Trump knows he can't build a wall. Like he knows this. Why do you guys think that he can? Like this is my point. Like if you're business minded, you know that that's not a conducive way to keep people out of the country that are trying to get in here. First of all, and secondly, you know that it doesn't make any sense money wise. He wouldn't be able to do it. It just wouldn't. Why do you think he was trying to get Mexico to pay for it? Because he knew flat out he was never going to get Congress to agree to such an absurdly massive, huge waste of money. So anyway, I just, again, I want to remind you that nothing about anything I just said was conservative. Okay, conservative person would believe in you know, essentially like doing something that makes sense, things that we've done before. Okay, increased fences. You could just put another fence further back. A second fence further back is actually decent security. Yeah, I think there's one checkpoint and actually have a second. It's actually a decent way smart way to do security, actually. Yet Trump in his infinite wisdom didn't think of this. There you go. So I guess gave him an idea. It would literally work just fine. And he's not going to do it. The point is, plenty of people gave him plenty of good ideas. He has people for that. Obama would love to give him a good idea. Do you think he's going to do it? This is what you have to realize. The past presidents actually do talk to each other and ask for help, believe it or not. Some of them here and there have talked about the advice that they've given after the fact, but it doesn't look good on them if they know what the other presidents, you know what I'm saying? Like, they're not going to talk about what the competition gave them as advice and that they followed. Obviously they're not going to do that because it makes it really unpopular with their voters. Okay? But they all talk. He's the only one that doesn't. He doesn't have anybody in his ear that's actually going to give him smart advice any longer. Anymore, nobody wants to work with this guy because he wouldn't listen to the advice the first time around. He treated everybody like crap. Anyway. Let's get an update here.
By the city, we are going to clear the red tape and unnecessary delays and cost and headaches that people experience in ordinary times so that we can rebuild your homes quickly. We're going to clear the way to rapidly rebuild our neighborhood infrastructure, which means roads, sidewalks, street lights, and utilities. We will clear the way to rebuild and open our small businesses and provide assistance to make it through these closures. This is a massive effort, but we will be ready. And we
So just I guess this is an official, I don't know who she is, from Los Angeles, talking about fire in Los Angeles. I think I gotta, hold on, let me just see here. He didn't answer yet. That's weird. Like I said, I'm sure he's fine. I just... was a little concerned since I didn't hear from him, but I'm sure he's fine. Like I said, it's just in LA right now, but that's not good.
We will get the job done by turning away from the usual city system and moving forward in a new direction. LA has to be strong, united. We will reject those who seek in this emergency, when lives are at stake and lives have been lost. We will reject those who seek to divide us and seek to misinform, because as evidenced by the leadership standing here today, we will be united. We will rebuild our city, and we will do what is ever is necessary to get us past this crisis. And we can do that by being united.
You know, I just wonder what's wrong with people. Like, this lady is talking about how they're going to rebuild, they're going to help. This terrible thing is happening, it's just burning down homes. And, like, literally everyone in that chat is, like, calling her stupid, calling her loser, saying useless, like, being really nasty. Instead of supportive during a terrible tragedy that's going on. Like, these people are terrible. This is what's wrong. This is what's wrong. Because this is what I see. Like, so many people in this chat. You know what I mean? Like, literally just being terrible. Literally, somebody said proof that elections have consequences. What the fuck are you talking? Like, why would you even... What the hell does that have to do with anything? What is wrong with people? Like, this is the issue. This is the fucking problem. People acting like that.
Let me just introduce our FEMA administrator, and I really want to thank her for coming here from Washington, D.C., and various members of the cabinet. Let me introduce our Senator, Adam Schiff.
Oh, here we go.
Madam Mayor, thank you. Thank you for bringing us all together, and thank you for your leadership. I want to begin also by acknowledging those that have lost their lives and lost their homes.
Now, let's be clear. What you want to realize is that this person talking right now, you should respect and ask him for help. Tell him what you need. He is your representative. He is your senator. He is there to represent you and make sure you get what you need. You need to start paying attention to these people. These are your senators. They're helping. Okay? Especially the Democratic ones. They help. You write them and tell them what you need and see how often it does or doesn't get done. Or how often they speak about trying to get it done on... Watch C-SPAN. Pay attention to this stuff. And then you'll know. But none of you do. The point is, half of you don't write your Republican senators or representatives anymore to know whether they give a shit. They will just ignore you. They won't give a shit. The Democrats, though, the things that you care about, you'll find that a lot of them are already trying to probably do the things that you care about. Because they care about it too. They're just normal people. So, and again, this guy's not... He's a representative. He's supposed to help. Look at him that way. And then judge him accordingly if he's very obviously not trying to help and he's... Like, alright, for example. Something happened in Texas. There was a disaster in Texas, like a hurricane or something. Didn't Ted Cruz take like a flight to Hawaii or something like that? He took a huge vacation right when like Texas had a real big disaster or something. This is the shit you want to pay attention to. Like, instead of canceling his vacation, instead of doing the right thing, instead of taking care of this shit and proving that he cares, he's on a plane to his fucking vacation home or whatever, and then he actually has the audacity to apologize. And he should have owned that shit. Should have just owned it. I don't even want to fucking hear it, dude. So, no. This is what you don't pay. This is what nobody pays attention to. They don't pay attention to that part of it. They don't pay attention to the little details here and there.
I was on the phone much of the early part of the day talking to people that had lost everything, and for so many, because of the nature of these fires, they not only lost their home, they lost their whole neighborhood, they lost their whole community, they lost their school and their place of worship. It's all gone. And I just want to express the heartbreak I know we're all feeling over those massive losses, unprecedented in our state's history. I also want to, as the mayor was alluding to, take this opportunity to thank the Biden administration for what they've done. Senator Padilla and I and the California House delegation, several of my colleagues here today have worked to try to get a quick declaration of disaster, to try to get the most we could in terms of federal match, and we could not have asked for more from the administration. The declaration was almost immediate. And as the mayor was saying, you're lucky normally to get 75% of a federal match. We learned today from the president we're getting 100% federal match here.
Good.
That's extraordinary. I talked to the president and the vice president today about both these issues and more and the needs ahead, and they could not have been more committed to making sure that California and Southern California get the resources and help they need. And I thank our FEMA administrator also for her work on this.
And remember, again, that's the current administration, right, that he's talking about. So, that's good. They need to rush that so that way a certain other administration doesn't come and take it, because I just feel like he's going to do something similar like what he did before.
just want to say.
But like that's the point. He's reiterating that he's speaking on their behalf, that they are helping 100%. He's assuring you that they are. That's what he's supposed to do. He's right there reassuring you. He got the job done. He got the job done. Recognize him. Remember it. Don't forget about it. That's it. That's all you have to do with politics. Remember how people respond to certain things. And then, like, look up what's actually going on. That's it. Like again, none of you watch the C-SPAN where they're actually, like, sitting there on the floor and voting on things, whether to do things. None of you sit there and see the Republicans that reject, time and time again, need things that would help you. And the Republicans that reject what, again, like people like Bernie Sanders are trying to do and talk about and stuff like that. Time and time, you see these viral videos of Bernie passionately speaking in this building. Do you know what that fucking building is? You should. Man.
Candidly, we are not through this by any means. We keep seeing these fires pop up in different places. We may see more before this is over. If you're told to evacuate, then get the hell out.
Oh my god. Oh my god, I love this guy. He's like, if you're told to evacuate, then get the hell out. I love this guy. That is literally what he just said, word for word. That was phenomenal. If you're told to evacuate, then get the hell out. That was so great.
You might think you can outrun a fire. You are not going to outrun these fires. You're just not. The way they are moving, the unpredictability of how they're moving, the swiftness with how they're moving, you are not going to outrun these fires.
That's like saying you're going to outrun the wind.
If you stay, you're going to die in them, and it's not worth it. So if you're told to evacuate, get the hell out.
Yeah.
Save yourselves. You can rebuild
Definitely.
because we are going to rebuild. We also, I think, have to be mindful of the risks that will follow these fires, and that is when the rains come and the risk of mudslides. So I say that because we need to know what we're looking forward to ahead. But I want to underscore finally what the mayor was saying also. We're going to get through this. We're going to get through this. We're Californians. We will back from this. We will rebuild from this, rebuild our neighborhoods and our schools and our places of worship. We will come back from this. And once again, I thank all of you that are on the front lines of this, all of the first responders who are out there every day putting their lives on the line, doing heroic work. I'm grateful to all the other jurisdictions that are providing personnel and material. Just going through some of the fire areas earlier today, you see one truck from this county, another from that county, from all over the state, the country, and indeed other countries as well. So thank you to the first responders. Thank you, Mayor.
And again, we covered the fact that earlier it just seems like their need is more of like essentially a lack of water supply, it seems. That's almost kind of like the biggest need, it seems.
Before I bring up our supervisor, let me just acknowledge City Councilman John Lee. He wanted to be here today, but because of the latest fire, he went to that situation. Supervisor Lindsay Harman.
Thank you, Madam Mayor.
The Los Angeles County Fire Department remains in unified command with Pasadena Fire, Sierra Madre Fire, Arcadia Fire, the United States Forest Service, and CAL FIRE. as well as the Sheriff's Department and our local law enforcement agencies. The Eaton fire is now over 13,609 acres and still remains 0% contained.
Oh my god.
1,527
0% contained.
firefighting personnel assigned and mutual aid resources from across the state and nation arriving to assist with this fire. We have had several firefighter injuries reported and estimate that over 5,000 structures have been destroyed. This is based on aerial imagery that's been provided. We expect those numbers can change.
5,000 structures destroyed.
Either go up or down based on additional mapping of the fire, as well as when our damage inspection teams get out there and complete their thorough damage assessment of the burn area. We also had one firefighter injured today, sustained injuries battling the fire, and is currently at a local area hospital. The cause of the fire is unknown and remains under investigation. As soon as the cause is determined, we'll be sure to get that information out to all. As Supervisor Horvath and Chief Crowley mentioned, the Kenneth fire started just after 2:30 p.m. today in West Hills and has grown over 800 acres in that short period of time. We have it.
So the fire that started this morning grew over 800 acres. So no. Oh, 365 confirmed that he's safe. That's good. He says he doesn't even see any smoke where he's at, so that's good. I'm glad. That's good to hear. But yeah, I guess he can't even see any smoke, so that's good. Like I said, California is a very big state, so it's not surprising, but it is still very bad. It is still very widespread. 0% contained.
Significant augmentation of ground and air resources assigned, with evacuations currently in the communities of West Hills, Hidden Hills, and Calabasas. Additional information will be provided as this incident develops, but I encourage all to be vigilant and visit lacounty.gov/emergency for the latest incident information. The number of resources assigned to this fire siege event has increased.
lacounty.gov/emergency, I think he said. I think they need help. I do.
Increased significantly, and we are in a much better position than we were earlier in the week. Out-of-state resources continue to arrive in Los Angeles County, and we are appreciative of our fire partners from throughout the western United States for providing assistance to Los Angeles County in our time.
There you go. So what he's saying is he's appreciative of that help, and so I guess they are accepting. They do still need help. So that'd be confirmation for me. Please help if you can. Again, they need to get ahead of it. It's exponential growth with wildfires. You can't predict it, and so you have to be bigger than it. 800 acres in like 8 hours is bad. 100 acres an hour. Wow. 100 acres an hour, basically. This is kind of what it sounds like. So yeah. We're gonna probably stop here soon. But yeah, the point was to, just talk about it, draw attention to it more. maybe people are so locked in they don't even know about it. I mean, that happens. It's possible that you wouldn't even hear about it. It's possible. So, you know, yeah. Please help if you can. Mainly for the folks out in the western states, obviously, but and if you can, great. You know, maybe you have a relative out that way and you could visit for a bit or something like that, and call up a station nearby and you know, show up with, you know, one of their trucks or something. Like that's how you do that. Like you communicate and work with their departments out there, and I'm sure a lot of times they'll request if you can bring your own gear, since that's probably the need, is that they would need that. But obviously, you know, you're not driving a fire truck across the states, so you know what I mean. You know what I mean? Like, bring what you can and help out if you can, and do what you can, please. And get in touch with the proper people so that you know how to do that, please. So again, I will put this in the description. I will share this link with you. Chat's not open, so I didn't share it in the chat. I will put it in the description, so you guys can have the live link. You can follow along. This feed's been going on for a while, so it's been going on. I've been kind of following it here and there for the past couple days, and it's only getting worse. So please make people aware, and you know, awareness is power. You know, like, essentially just spread this around, and help out, please. They need your help, and please stop with the heed my words in this. Like, for your own sake, for the sake of humanity, man. Get over fucking colors and shit, stuff that bothers you. Because remember, that's bothering you. You have those issues, and you're making everybody else deal with your issues. It's just a color, man. Get over these things about yourself, please, and realize that they leak into your decisions in everyday life and basically everything you do, for a lot of you. Because again, this is why the stereotypes exist. If you're based, you're based, for sure. So please stop doing it. Again, you don't need to be that way. You can just accept things for how they are. It's just the color. It's not gonna hurt you. And it's not gonna make you feel uncomfortable. That's you. That's your feelings towards it. So, remember that. Appreciate you guys watching. Appreciate, you know, you guys being understanding with me about everything that's going on. You know, not having chat open lately. Appreciate that. You know, I just want to be safe about people's information, and you know, like, just as much as I can, and I also I do want to do these once in a while, you know, where you know, something's going on, we got to talk about it, because it's important. It's like an awareness thing, you know, something's going on, we got to talk about it, sort of thing. So thank you for watching this. Thank you for your support. And yeah, we'll go ahead and stop there. Appreciate you guys watching. Have a good night, everybody. Be safe. Anybody watching from Cali, I hope you're safe. If you're watching from Cali, I really hope you're safe. And remember, just like the guy said, get the hell out of there. Evacuate. Don't think you're gonna save anything. Wildfire is a wildfire. It'll engulf something pretty quick. So anyway, see you guys.